مسرور يا بحر الهدى أرض التقى والنور جئناك نبغي بيعة نمضي بها للنور.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon you. It's exciting to welcome you to another interesting episode of Domestic Issues and Their Solutions. Of course, on the show, we dive into a lively review of this book titled Domestic Issues and Their Solutions. It compiles the various pronouncements and guidance of Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, may Allah be his helper, which he delivered on issues and challenges that many couples, spouses, are facing in their marriages across the world, providing powerful and practicable solutions to them based on Islamic teachings and guidance. And today's episode promises to be interesting as I have with me to engage in the review Mr. Abbas Iromini Sahib. He is the General Secretary of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Jamaat of Nigeria, and is also working with the Federal University Oye Ekiti in Nigeria here. Mr. Abbas Sahib, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mukarram Sahib.
MashaAllah, Jazakallah khairan. Each time we call you, you respond to our call, and your review on the show is always insightful. I must acknowledge that. Jazakallah khairan. MashaAllah. Dear viewers, to get a copy of this book, all you need to do is to visit www.alislam.org as it is being displayed on the screen, and get your copy, get seated, and follow the review as we explore various guidance contained in the book. MashaAllah, Mr. Abbas Sahib, today I think we are still on that chapter 2 of this profound book, and that is from page 26.
Yes, page 26. It's just that His Holiness conducted in a car. It's July 2012 at Masjid Baitul Islam, Toronto, Canada. And of course, traditionally, the 3 verses were read. Explain these verses. His Holiness now said, if these verses also emphasize the importance of maintaining close family connections and emphasize honesty, and also stress the importance of being mindful of what you have sent for the morrow. If these values were instilled in the newly married and in the relatives of the newly married, families on both sides, mother, father, sister, and brother, the issues that usually cause cracks in relationships would never surface. These issues cause breakups and pain for both families. Sometimes they escalate so much that people get embroiled in court cases, and then matters are brought to me and are a source of intense pain. His Holiness, may Allah be his helper, Allah come to be his helper, is again trying to let couples realize what we call their duties, what they should have in mind. He mentions, if these values, what are these values that His Holiness wanted instilled in the minds not only of the couples, but of their extended relatives too? Such values as honesty. Being honest. The two must be honest. You can't hide something from this. You are not supposed to hide anything from the wife you want to marry or from the husband you want to marry. Be plain, be honest, be truthful. Of course, that is a way of laying what is called a solid foundation for a peaceful home. Not that after you have gotten home, what he or she ought to have known he or she start getting to know, it will cause pain. And look at the way His Holiness completes this, that court cases will now be happening, or people will take themselves to court, and in most cases, the cause will not get back to him, and that it causes him intense pain to be, looking at breakups, trying to salvage it, trying to advise them. So on our own, if we actually understood the precepts and the teachings of Islam, and we know why we are going to relationships, we should not be giving His Holiness pains by referring our matrimonial issues that are, we will have caused it by ourselves, and we now want him to meditate and to mediate and now resolve these cases. If we had understood why we are going to such relationships, we could have actually avoid this. So we need to be honest and be truthful, and we need to care for not only just for ourselves as husband and wife, but also those extended members of the family. If we could just do this, we will have a peaceful home.
Absolutely, Mr. Basab, and it draws one's emotions, reading up to the level where His Holiness said that all these kind of issues cause breakups and pain for both families, and eventually people the issues are escalated to court, and in some cases that matters, all these kind of matters are brought to he himself. And it gives him a source of intense pain. I think, looking at the fact that the marriages that were conducted with happiness in the house of God, for example, inside the mosques, and people were cheerful, being happy, then they sit down again to dissolve it with extreme painful. And so we must not get there. Couples must not get to that kind of end. And that's why he said that, thus, when settling a marriage, the girl and the boy and those involved in the arranging of the marriage should see that it is not done merely for worldly reasons, not simply for one's own satisfaction and fulfillment of desires. Neither should matches be made to receive dowry from the girl's family, nor should a girl's physical beauty be prioritized when seeking a match. Nor should the girl's side opt for a match based on the boy's large salary and wealth. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be on him, said that the world has different standards to select a matrimonial match, and your standard should be that of spirituality. This is profound and compelling. His Holiness, in this passage, is passing the message to us that why arranging marriage, why looking at suitors, who to marry. It said the world, the secular people, they have their standards, what they consider.
Yeah.
For Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ has set the standard for us, and that standard. Why the worldly people consider, fat salary, huge,
beauty,
and
family
so on. The Prophet ﷺ said that spirituality should be our standard. In a popular tradition, prophetic tradition, it is said that the Prophet ﷺ said that tunkahul mar'atu li arba. People, consider 4 things to marry, to make the choice, or the kind of choice that they will make. Limaliha, they consider wealth. Is she worthy? Or is he worthy? Wali hasabiha, the lineage, the family background. Is it of high class, or middle class, noble family, and so on? And they also consider the jamaliha,
beauty,
the beauty, which is ephemeral, transient. It doesn't last long. But this is what many people consider. The makeup and so on. Walidiniha, the religion. The Prophet ﷺ advised us that our standard should be that of spirituality, that is diniha, consideration of religion, the religion. He said, if you do so, fafzad, bidati din, taribati. Go for the religious one. You may be blessed if you do so. In fact, there is a tradition where the Prophet ﷺ said that إِذَا جَاءَكُمْ مَنْ تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ فَانكِحُوهُ. In another narration, it says, فَزَوِّجُوهُ. That when a person comes to you and is such a person that تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَخُلُقَهُ, you are pleased with his religion, the practice of religion, وَخُلُقَهُ, and his character. He said, فَزَوِّجُوهُ. Marry your daughter to him, or marry your son. Let him marry your son. إِلَّا تَفْعَلُوهُ. If you don't do so, تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ كَبِيرٌ. There will be fitna, great menace, disorder in the society. وَفَسَادٌ كَبِيرٌ. Great disorder. There will be trial and great disorder in the society if you refuse to do this, because they will find one way or the other to perpetrate evil. Yes. That is how evil will spread in the society. But the key message here is that for Muslims, our standard of in making choice of who do you want to marry is spirituality. When we get that, other things will be added. Yeah. Blessings from Allah.
I want to also infer here, His Holiness is actually cautioning, let me say, our youths. They are so much into the entertainment world. And some of them have even taken celebrities as their role models. And these celebrities, all they go out for is just the razzmatazz, the beauty. They are seeing somebody for the first time in their life just because of the appearance, the curvy, the busty, and things like that. They are saying, this is the person I'm going to marry. Without considering...
They call it love at the first sight.
So, and our youths, as provided by His Holiness here, we should look beyond that for us to have a peaceful home and to have also a beautiful and righteous generation. So please, entertainment world is a world on its own. Spiritual life has its own route too. And spiritual life route is what we should take.
Inshallah.
And I think that's what takes us to the next pronouncement of His Holiness, where he says, if spirituality is used as a benchmark, as a yardstick, that is, both boys and girls will try and enhance their spiritual levels. If the boy is asked to look for spirituality rather than physical beauty or wealth, it will not only give girls the impetus to enhance their spirituality alongside other religious bounties that Allah the Exalted has granted. The boys will also focus on enhancing their spirituality. Level of spirituality and religious inclination cannot be one-sided. It cannot be that a boy is embroiled in indecencies, vulgarities, and worldliness, and wishes for his future wife to be very religious. Obviously, if he wishes for his future bride to be inclined to religion, he will also pay attention to it.
Absolutely.
It can't be one-sided. It can't be one-sided. A man that desires spirituality for himself should also seek a wife that has the same level of spirituality, if not even a higher one. Because that is what will now make them to have that same goal, same vision, and then their house will be a heaven of Islam, so to say. Not because in many homes these days, especially people are not so much into spirituality. They will say, doesn't matter, she can practice her religion, I practice my own. Or some people will say, I'm going to convert her. Somebody that has led many years of her life in another religion and has not so much imbibed yours, and this has actually caused a lot of fracas at homes because the person you are thinking you want to convert, you want to turn to your religion, might end of the day not be the type that can be turned. You now start having issues in the house. She will not be listening to you. But sometimes the children will follow their mother who are not of your religious inclination. And this is what will actually bring about fracas in the house. And to prevent this, His Holiness has actually guided us here.
Mashallah, absolutely, Mr. Basaib. And one other aspect of His Holiness' message here, or guidance here, is that when a person desires a spiritual wife, wife that is spiritually inclined and developed, he too, he must develop himself spiritually. Sure. You don't engage in vulgarities, obscenities, and say you want to get a righteous wife. And we've seen so many people today, we have some people who will be, I'm looking for righteous husbands for my girls. Are the girls also righteous? Or I'm looking for righteous wives. Are you yourself righteous? Quran says, "At-tayyibatu lit-tayyibin wa at-tayyibuna lit-tayyibat." Good women, or pure women for pure men. Pure men for pure men. So it has to go like that. It must not be one-sided. And that's what His Holiness has said here. MashaAllah, dear viewers, if you are just joining us, you are watching Domestic Issues and Their Solutions, a program where we engage in lively review of this book, Domestic Issues and Their Solutions. It contains inspiring addresses, guidance, and the blessed counsels of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, which he delivered to address issues and challenges many couples are facing across the world, with solutions based on Islamic teachings. Of course, we still have much more to learn and to gain from this show as we explore other aspects of the book. Mr. Abbas Sahib, if you can take it further, now let us look at the passage where His Holiness said that this is why Nikah Saman gives so much emphasis to righteousness. The problems that arise in relationships would never happen if newly formed relationships always keep in view that they should abide by righteousness, pay each other's rights and dues, overlook trivial matters, be caring towards each other's close families. The girl should be caring towards her in-laws, and the boy should also be caring towards his in-laws. This is what we call perfect teachings, inspiring, guidance, contained in this book. And I wonder, in the preface to this book, His Holiness declared that my address, my pronouncements are based on current issues couples are facing. This is the reality, and is addressing it. Look at him. Look at it. He identifies righteousness as the basis and as what can solve, issues at home, and that when righteousness is upheld in dealings, then there will be happiness, there will be peace. And this righteousness at home in marriage, what does it imply? He said it implies that each one of them must pay each other's rights and dues, fulfill your obligations. Quran says that, for example, Quran says, وَعَلَى الْمَوْلُودِ لَهُ رِزْقُهُنَّ وَكِسْوَتُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. For the husband, the father of the children, the husband of the wife at home, upon him is rizquhunna, provision of the household things needed at home. Wakiswatuhunna, the clothing. You have to provide that. That is your duty. And to the wife, she must take care of the home and other things. These are the dues. These are the rights. Overlook trivial matters, issues that are trivial. Unnecessary things should not be, allowed to explode to serious issues that will lead to breakup.
Don't create mountain out of a molehill.
Absolutely. So we have to look into all this to ensure that we live amicably and amiably at home. Very, very important. Is, for example, we've gotten, for example, there is an instance that because the wife is is looking for pregnancy for some time, hasn't gotten that, and the mother-in-law told the wife that told her daughter-in-law that I give you 3 months, you must produce a child. I want to see my grandchild.
grandchild.
My grandchild. You must 3 months. Anything beyond that, you are out. Bring somebody else. And it's a woman. Herself is a woman. Can she produce of her own will, at will, get pregnancy? No. Then why enforcing such kind of rule? So these are the things that create, frictions at home, and true peace and peace of mind cannot be experienced in such kind of setting.
So, closely related to that, the example, the scenario I've just created, His Holiness said, the other important point is that there should be mutual confidence. Confidence. The husband should just have that trust with the wife. And then he now said, this can only be when everything is based on honesty. Honesty did, which means honesty without any ambiguity. At this instance, let me just further explain this as it happened somewhere. I think a man has a fiancée, and about this honesty thing, it's like prior to the nikah, he now demanded from the lady, just tell me everything about yourself. Everything, just be honest. And I think the lady downloaded. Though he was surprised, but the lady downloaded everything about her past. So the nice ones, the not too nice ones. After the marriage, some information started getting to the man, which the woman had informed him about. And he was like, oh, I've heard of that before. Oh, no, okay, I'm aware of that. So it did not come to him as a surprise. Let us imagine if that lady had not informed her husband, and this other so-called information that he didn't so much like now start getting to him, would that not cause? So that is why His Holiness statement here should actually be imbibed by everybody. Be honest, and that is what will generate confidence, because, about that I'm aware. Because if the man is honest to the wife and the wife is also honest to the husband, they will have no cause to start suspecting one another. And His Holiness goes on to say, young men and women do not realize that after marriage, there are certain email contacts on the internet can create mistrust. That is just one of this social media or this modern day. The past that the man had, nobody's perfect, quite right. But let the man or the woman you are relating with, whom you desire to marry, let him or her know the truth about yourself. It's just mentioned in made here. It's possible you have exchanged some information on the, with your, maybe some ex, as they call it, ex. Some people have exes, people they have dated and dated and dated, and you have said so many things in that email. By the time you are now forming a relationship with another lady to the point of marriage, possibly she will have access to your laptop and she may open your email and she will have seen so. But if you have been honest, woman, I had led this kind of life before. I've changed now, or I've not, you present the way it is, such that she's able to understand what you have been as I will be husband. That level of honesty is what is honest is mentioning here. And he said without ambiguity, don't be corny about it. Don't say in a way that you not understand. Be straight. And that's why there's one hadith that says, Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut. Say what you know is right. Say the truth. Be honest. Be sincere. Be straightforward. Don't use corny style or other feminine style or masculine style to want to hoodwink and deceive. Just be straight. And once you are straight, she knows you are straight. Even that love will grow naturally. So His Holiness is teaching us what we need to know here to sustain a happy home. Thus, the truth should be told from the very first day, and everything about oneself should be clearly stated so that there is nothing that can create mistrust later on. Whatever can lead to suspicion later on should be avoided. And that is based on just being, should we call it, being honest, being nakedly honest. How do they put it?
Whatever way, the fact is that one has to be honest and also sincere. And if we can take a final lap from the book, because of course we are running out of time now, Mr. Abbas Sahib, and His Holiness in this passage, in this paragraph, he declared that, and most of all, do not consider this world everything. What you should have in view is that after spending this transitory life, one's years of youth are spent and one enters old age. One is not so inclined to the world anymore. Youth is also short-lived, and it's a time when one can fulfill worldly desires as much as one wants. Even if one lives to old age beyond 70 or 80 years, life in the hereafter is everlasting, and Allah the Exalted commands us to be mindful of life in the hereafter. This is powerful. And the fact is that, as the Quran says, وَالْآخِرَةُ خَيْرٌ وَأَبْقَى. The life of the hereafter is khayr, is better, وَأَبْقَى, and more everlasting. This means that we have to spiritualize our marital life and destiny and experience. And most importantly, for us to appreciate the fact that our marriage should not just start from this world and end in this world, but it must be lasting, everlasting, to the hereafter. We should continue that family, because Quran has promises that families who are righteous, Quran says, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَاتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ. Those who believe and their family, their children, they follow in that footstep of belief. أَلْحَقْنا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ. We will merge them together, we let them meet in the hereafter, and they continue that family life together. So, Mr. Basaibu, of course, we don't have time. If you can just add a few final words.
No, the thing is just that His Holiness said we should not be worldly, we should not be materialistic, and then we should be tolerant, we should be righteous, we should also accommodate on ourselves and be humane to one another, like overlooking all the small, trivial issues. We should not necessarily magnify issues. Just overlook it and then let it go and live a peaceful life.
MashaAllah, dear viewers, let's be humane and avoid trivial things in order to enjoy our marriage. These and many and others are the things we've learned on the show today, reviewing this book, Domestic Issues and Their Solutions. If you have questions or comments, you can always reach us via africa@mtk.tv. Until next time, when we shall meet again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أنت الذي حزت الرضا، أنت المزكي للورى، قدنا إلى نبع الصفا من بيتك المعمور.